Welcome everybody to Steph's Garage Jewelry. Today we have another fun project and we are going to be making this mammoth of a ring. Those of you who've been following me know that this is probably not my typical style, but it was something that it just kind of spoke for itself, and I had so much fun making it, and I love it. It's not typical me, that's for certain, but I love it. Can't wait for concerts, to be able to go to concerts again. I am fully going to get dressed up and look all fancy schmancy, and I'm going to be wearing this ring. I tell you, I'm going to be wearing this ring. It's not typical of me, but yeah, this is a fun ring. All right, so couple of things to note. We're going to be digging into our toolbox. We're going to be doing a stitch that we've done before. It's right angle weave, everybody. So it's a fairly simple stitch. One of the first stitches that I taught on my YouTube channel. So let's gather our materials and let's have some fun. Oh, and just a shout out to everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate this learning process of recording. I'm getting a little bit better, but there's always room for improvement. So I just want to say thank you for sticking out with me, and I work really hard to come up with some really fun ideas for you guys. So thank you. All right, let's get our stuff and let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with our 11-0 Delicas. Now you can do this all in one color or you can do it in two colors. It's up to you. I'm going to do it in two colors just because that's how I did this first string. And so I thought for anyone who wants to do the actual color pattern, I would do it in two tones, but if you wanted to for the 11-0s, it would look just as beautiful, if you did it in the one color. So it's up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our Delicas. And I consider the gold, like here I did champagne, that's my main color, that's color A. And then for color B was the sides, okay? Because the band is going to be the same color as up here. So for the main color, even though will be the gold, the accent color in this particular case is going to be the dark mauve, galvanized dark mauve in Duracoat, okay? So you're going to take two colors of your accent color first, one of your gold, and this is yellow galvanized Duracoat gold, then two of the accent color, and then one of the your main colors. Now if you're doing it all in one, then it's a total of 2 plus 1, that's 3, total of 6 Delicas on your thread. And what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and slide that down our thread. And I apologize, I forgot to talk about the thread. So your thread, this ring actually takes a lot of thread. So you may need to add thread later on, but it's up to you on how you want to do it. What I did is I did 2 arm lengths of thread and just put a stop bead halfway. And I still needed to add a little thread to this towards the end, but it's up to you. It's, you're going to probably be adding the thread is in the band. This is where it's going to, take up the most amount of thread. So it's up to you. And so forth, but I recommend 2 arm lengths and with the stop bead halfway. All right, so we got our total of our 6 11-0 Delicas with our main color and our accent color. We're going to go through all of them a second time. All right, so this is the second time going through each bead. There we go. And then I'm going to go through the 2 accent colors again. And this is our first unit of our right angle weave. Alright, for the second unit, we just need to build the top, and that will be 12 o'clock. The side, which will be 3 o'clock, and the bottom, which will be 6 o'clock, because we have 9 o'clock right here. So let's go ahead and pick up one main color, the gold, and then 2 of the accent color. I'm just going to say bronze because that's what it looks like, but it's actually galvanized dark mauve Duracoat. And then 1 of the main colors of gold. And then I'm just going to go back through this side wall here. And that's our right angle weave. There we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and reinforce that. Just like this. And we've done this before. We've done this many times before. The only difference is we're creating a bezel. And then we'll go back through the 9 o'clock wall. And we want to make sure we end up at 3 o'clock. Our accent color wall on the other side. And I'm just going to turn this around to make it easier for me. There we go. There. And now we are ready to go ahead and do the next unit. So we want a total of 5 of these walls. So go ahead and do 3 more units. Meet me back here and I'll show you how we do our corner. Alright, so now we've gotten our 5 units on. We're ready to do the corner. And what we're going to be using for the corner is going to be slightly different. Alright, so we are going to, basically at the top, we are going to have, we're going to place our Toho Demi. It's 11-0. And this is Olympic bronze. Okay? And then I'm going to do 2 11-0s of our accent colors. And then I'm going to put on a 3mm bicone at the bottom. And then go back up through this 3 o'clock wall. Alright? So I added 1 11-0 Toho Demi. And what a Toho Demi is, it's basically, it's 11-0 but about half the size roughly. Okay, so it's smaller than a typical 11-0 round seed bead, but you don't lose this hole size, and that's the beauty of it. So you get, instead of going down to a 15-0 where the size, the hole will be so much smaller, you don't lose that hole size. So that's the beauty of the Toho Demi. So I go ahead and I add the Toho Demi. Then I add the 2 11-0s for the accent color. Then my 3mm bicone. And then I go up the side wall. I'm just going to do a typical right angle weave. There we go. And you can see it creates a little corner. So we'll go ahead and reinforce that. I'm just going to turn this around so I can work on it. There we go. So I'll go through and just reinforce everything. There we go. Use my fingers to help guide the thread as I do that. There we go. Just turning my piece around so I can work on it. And I like to do one wall at a time because it helps keeps its form with the right angle weave. I find that if you try to go through everything at once, especially during the reinforcement, it's just gonna get things out of whack. So when I do my right angle weave, I do one wall at a time. And you know, your units, your walls can vary in bead size, they can vary in the number of beads, but you still want to do one wall at a time. And you always want to end up at the 3 o'clock again, which is what we're going to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue on. We've created our little corner, so this is our first corner. Okay, that's, you know, our first corner over here on the ring. Okay, now we need to go in this direction and do 3 right angle weave units. Okay, so it's going to go back to what we were doing before. I'll do this unit with you. There we go. So we're going to pick up one of our main colors, then 2 of our accent colors, and then 1 of our main colors. Okay, and we're just going to go back down this wall here. And then continue on. And I'll go ahead and reinforce everything like usual. There we go. Whoops. Didn't mean to pull that away from you. Out of view. There we go. And here's the next wall. And the final wall. And then I'll make my way back to 3 o'clock and to start on the next unit. There we go. All right. All right, so on this side, we only need 3 units. So go ahead and do 2 more units. Meet me back here and we'll do the next corner together. All right, so we're ready to do our next corner. And this is the inside of the rectangle, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up 1 11/0 Toho Demi. Then I'm going to pick up 2 11/0s of Delicas of my accent color, and then 1 3mm bicone. And then I'm just going to go back through the wall that I'm coming out of. There we go, just like this. Just like we did before. And then I'll reinforce everything. There we go. There we go. I'm just going through everything to reinforce. There we go. 1 wall at a time. Using my fingers to guide everything. And then I just want to make sure I wind up at the 3 o'clock again. And I like to use the clock comparison. It just helps kind of keep things neat in my brain. It just makes more sense than some of the other things we can refer to. But, I mean, whatever works for you. Use what works for you. All right. So now we're ready, and we're ready to go ahead and get started on the next wall. So just like before, we're going to go ahead and pick up 1 of our main colors, then 2 of our accent colors, 1 of our main colors of the Delicas, 11/0 Delicas, just like before. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and reinforce that and then do a total of 5 units, so 4 additional units. Then go ahead and meet me back here and we'll do the next corner. Alright, so we've got a total of 5 units here. Now we're ready to do our third corner. So my thread is coming out this direction. So for the inside, I'm adding 1 11-0 Demi, then 2 11-0 Delicas in the accent color, then a 3mm bicone, and then I'll go back through the wall that I'm coming out of, just like we did before. There we go. And this will be our third corner. There we go. And just reinforcing everything. Go. There. And just going through everything to reinforce. And whoops. There we go. I want to make sure that I'm coming out at 3 o'clock to get started on the next side. Alright, so on this side we're going to have to do 3 units again, and then we'll do our final corner. And our final corner will be a little different than our previous corners, but our 3 sides are going to be just like before. So I'm picking up 1 main color, 2 accent colors, and then 1 main color of the 11-0 Delicas, going through that previous side from that last unit, and then just reinforcing everything once again. One little wall at a time. Making sure I come out of 3 o'clock when I finish. Whoops. Let me just, sorry about that if I got out of frame. There we go. But we've done that several times, so I think you're okay. All right. All right, so we have 1 unit. Now you just need to add 2 more units for a total of 3. Meet me back here and we'll do the final corner. All right, so now we're ready to do our final corner, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to connect it to the opposite side here. So if your thread's coming out, if it's coming out on this end where you're pointing inward, you'll have the 11-0 Demi. So I'm coming out of one side. Then I'm going to go through the other side on the opposite side, because I got the 3 o'clock and I got the 9 o'clock. It's just the 6 o'clock and the 12 o'clock I need to add. So this was the inner. I did the 11-0 Demi. Now I'm going to add the 3mm bicone and go through that other side on the opposite side. There we go. And that will bring your piece together. And don't forget to reinforce, just like we've done everything else. We want to make sure we reinforce that corner. So go ahead, 1 wall at a time. There we go. Once you reinforce it, go ahead and what I like to do is I just like to come down one of the side walls. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to weave my way over here because I want to be coming out of one of the side walls. So I want to end up at 3 o'clock again. There we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to do another round of right angle weave. It's going to be a little different. There we go. Move my thread out of the way so it doesn't interfere. So we're coming out of here, coming out of this wall, and I just want to maneuver here to one of my main colors. There we go. Alright, so I maneuvered my way to one of my main colors underneath. And what we want to happen is we want our right angle weaves to stand up. So you may have to kind of maneuver them to do that. So I got my main color. I'm picking up just one of the accent, one of the main color, and then one of the accent. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this main color at the top here. There we go. And just going to reinforce that all the way around, one wall at a time. So the difference here on this part is instead of having on the side walls 2 11 delicas, you just have the 1 11 delica. Alright. Then we'll go through that 11 delica at the top. There we go. Help things stand up. Then we'll go down to 3 o'clock again because we always want to come out at 3 o'clock. There we go. And if we were to look at this, you can see how you have, for the next unit, you have this, there we go. You have this unit here. You got the 9 o'clock and you got the 6 o'clock. So all we have to do is add the 12 o'clock and the 3 o'clock. So the 12 o'clock is our main color and our 3 o'clock is our accent color. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. I'm going to go through 6 o'clock here. Then I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to reinforce everything at this point. I'm just going to turn things over to make it a little easier for me. And just make sure your thread doesn't catch on anything. That's the big thing. There we go. And when I'm done, I'm going to make sure I'm coming out of that 3 o'clock again. I'm just maneuvering things to get back to that 3 o'clock. There we go. Now I'm coming out of that 3 o'clock. There we go. Alright, so I'm coming out of that 3 o'clock. And if you noticed here, this is the side where I have 5. So I'm going to need to do 5 units here, okay? So depending on where you came out of, that's where you want to be. And so when you do this, go ahead and do a total of 5 more units. I'm sorry, not 5 more, but 5 total. So a total of 3 more units. Meet me back here. We'll do the corner together, and then we'll, get started on the next side. And if by chance you came down here and you did it on the side that just has the 3, then just do a total of 3, okay? So if you did 2, then you would do 1 more and then meet us back here. If you're on the side like I am where there's 5, do the full 5 and then meet us back here. So that would be 3 more units for you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do this corner. And all your corners are going to be the same, as well as all your side ones are going to be the same, except for your final corner. So when we're done with this, I'm going to have you continue on your own, and then meet me back here when you get to your final corner, and we'll do that one together. So here we have the 1 side wall and the 3mm bicone wall. Alright, so we're just going to add on 111 old Delica of the gold of our main color, and then the 11 old Delica of the accent color. I'm going to go through the bicone, just like a normal right angle weave. So all that's going to stay the same. The only thing is what beads we're using. Alright, and then I'm going to go through the one side, and then I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce everything. But I'm going to make sure I end up here at the 3 o'clock. Alright, so I'm still reinforcing. I'm going to finish that up. And then I'm going to just weave my way back to that 3 o'clock. So I can go ahead and get started with the next right angle weave, which is our typical right angle weave that we've been doing. For example, alright, so we're coming out of here. And then you just go back and do the regular where it's the accent color, the gold accent color on the side, and then gold at the bottom. So go ahead and do that, and then do all your sides except for your final side, and then we'll do that together, okay? Alright, so meet me back here, and we'll finish up that last corner. Alright, so I'm about ready to do my final corner. Before I do that, I'm going to pop in my stone. But I thought I'd take a moment to talk about this. So this particular stone is a light azure of the Potomac Crystals. And this is just an alternative to, one of the alternatives to Swarvoski's Crystals. So I thought I'd kind of show it off a little bit so you can see. Really lovely. And I just love this color. It's just so pretty. And then what I always do is I just put a little light coating, just also on my Swarvoski stones, if it has a foil back or a backing of some sort to protect it, of a clear nail polish. Just real light, and then let it dry. So let's go ahead and pop in our stone and our bezel. There we go. And I want it to be facing this way. And it should still be a little loose, and that's okay. Make sure it's on correctly. And now let's go ahead and finish up this section here. So we're at their final corner. We have this one, the 2 sides on each side, and we have the 3mm bicone. So all we have to do is this little section here. So we're just going to add 11 old Delica of our main color, and for me that's gold, yellow gold, galvanized. And then I go ahead and reinforce that, just like I do everything else. All right. Once you're done with that, go ahead and remove your stop bead and thread your tail. And then meet me back here, and what we're going to do is we're going to finish up the front, and then we'll start working on the back, okay? Alright, so what you want to do is weave your tail. So you are coming out of one of the first Delicas after a single corner, okay? And so all of our sides are going to be the same, and then our corners are going to be a little different. Alright, so first what we're going to do is I'm coming out of this 11 old Delica of our main color. I'm going to pick up 11 Delica of our main color and just go through the next 11 Delica, just like that. There we go. And we're just going to do that all the way down the side. There we go. Until we get to our first corner. And we're at our first corner. We'll know that we're at our first corner because we'll come across one of those 11 Demis. And what we do is we're just going to, so I'm coming out of this 11 Delica. I'm going to pick up a 11 Toho Demi. I'm going to go through that 11 Toho Demi. So that's one side of the corner. Turn it around. Let me get a little closer here so you can see better. There we go. Then I pick up another 11 Demi and go through the 11 Delica. Just like that. And then we're back to our 11 Delicas. And we do the same thing as before. I'm just going to show you again. Just until we get to that corner. And then we'll do our 11 Demis again. So I'm at this corner. I pick up a 11 Demi, just like that. And I pick up another 11 Demi and go through the first Delica of the next side. And turn it around. So go ahead and do that all the way around. Once you're done, I would go ahead and go around a second time for reinforcement. Okay, then meet us back here. Take your needle off your tail thread and meet us back here, and we'll go ahead and get started on the back. Okay? Alright, so now for the back, what we're going to do first is we are going to go all the way around, and similar to the front, we're going to pick up, so I'm coming out of this 11 Delica here, okay, of our main color, and pick up 11 Delica of the main color, and I'm just going to go through the next one, and I'm going to keep doing that until I get to a corner just like the front. Alright, so now I'm at the corner, and what I'm going to do, and I know I'm at the corner because this 11 Delica is right below 3mm bicone. So I'm going to pick up 11 Toho Demi. There we go. And on the other side of the corner, I'll pick up another 11 Toho Demi. And then again, I'm just going to go back to my 11 Delicas of the main color until I get to the next corner. So just like with the front, you're going to do the same thing. Go all the way around, go ahead and reinforce that, and then meet me back here and we'll get started on the band. Well, actually, we do have a step before the band. We'll be doing the backing of this first, and then we'll do the band. Alright, so at this point, we're done with our Toho Demis and we're done with our accent color. So you can go ahead and put those away. At this point, all we're going to be doing is our 11 main color, and we'll also have 15 Delicas as well. So again, we're doing the right angle weave. And what you want to do is you want to maneuver down to your base. So if you look at the backing here, we have the length here and then we have the width here. So you want to be on this one of the sides of the the lengths over here, and you want to be at a Delica either on this side or this side, okay? That isn't a part, which is what you just recently added on. So it's not part of a right angle weave as of yet. So if you look at your units on the side, you have this right angle weave here, and then a Delica that was just added on. So for me, it will be, you'll always be, the best way to say this is that you'll be at the second Delica on the inside, and you want to be on the length side. So if you're not on the length side, move over and either be the second one from here or the second one from here on either side, okay? So once you've reached there, what we're going to do next is we are going to add, we're going to do a right angle weave again. So I'm going to pick up 3 11-0 Delicas. And by the way, for all of our right angle weaves going forward, it's going to be our 11-0 Delicas in our main color. The accent color, the 15-0s will be put in later on, but won't be part of the right angle weave. Alright, so I got my 3 11-0 Delicas. There we go. I'm just going to turn this around to make it a little easier for me. And why don't I see if I can get a little closer. There we go. And I'm just going to do the first unit. There we go. Just like that. And then we go ahead and we reinforce that like we do everything else. There we go. It's a little harder to do on camera, but we'll get through it. Persevere. There we go. I'm just turning things around to make it a little easier to go ahead and bead. There we go. Whoops. Always careful to not stick yourself like I do like a million times. Alright, and then I want to come down here. There we go. And since I'm going in this direction, I'm going to come out of my 9 o'clock. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up 2 more 11-0 Delicas, because the next unit, I'm coming out of here, this will be the top. So all the beads that we added on the length side, we're going to be turning into, whoops, just so you can see, here's the top, we'll be turning into the right angle weave. So I just picked up 2. Just going to turn this around. So this bead here, we're not doing anything with. Okay, and that's part of the right angle weave up above, but I'm going to use this bead here, which is the bead, one of the beads we just added on, so it's sticking out just a little bit. There we go. And then we just reinforce. There we go. Whoops. Might help if I actually go through the bead. There we go. And I will continue to do that. And then back here, and I'll want to wind up at 6 o'clock again because of the direction I'm going in. Slide that down. There we go. Alright. So I have 2 units. I got 2 more units to put on. So we're going to be putting on a total of 4. Again, I'm skipping this bead here and going to the one that's slightly sticking out. There go. So go ahead and put on the next 2 units, then meet me back here and we'll get started on the next step. Alright, so we did 1 unit of right angle weave going across. Let's go ahead and get started on the second row. So I'm coming out of this right angle weave unit. Just going to pick up 3 11-0 Delicas, and just like before, I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce that 1 row at a time. There we go. Just like that, and whoops, there we go. So that's the beginning of our second row. So go ahead, finish up the second row and do a third row. Meet me back here and we'll do the fourth row, because the fourth row will be from the over here connecting to the top of the other side, okay? So meet me back here after you do a total of 3 rows, because here's 1 row and the beginning of the second. So finish the second, meet me back here to do, go ahead and do the third, and then meet me back here and we'll do the fourth row together. Alright, I thought I would go ahead and show you how to do the second unit of this second row. So I'm coming out of here, and I have 2 of the walls. I have the 3 o'clock here, and I have the 6 o'clock here. So I just need to add the 9 o'clock and the 12 o'clock. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. There we go. And then I just go ahead and reinforce that. So whenever you get started on the next row, you'll always start with 3, but then you'll have 2 walls, you only need to add 2 because you have your previous ones there. It's just the right angle weave. There we go. There. Alright, so go ahead and finish up that second row and then do the third row and meet me back here, and we'll do the fourth wall together. A row together, I should say. Alright? Okay, sorry about the confusion, everyone. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so now that I have 3 rows on, what we're going to do is we're going to do the fourth row, which will connect this to this side. So we have the top and the bottom. We just have to put the side walls on. So I'm coming out of the top of here. I'm just going to put my needle here so you can see. So this is where I'm coming out of. Let me get a little closer. There you go, so you can see. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on the sides. I'm picking up 1 11-0 Delica. I'm going to go to the bottom. Same thing, the 4 bottoms are going to be the ones sticking out just slightly. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up another side wall and then go to the top. There we go. There. And then I just go ahead and reinforce that. And then for all the other ones, it's just 1 bead we'll have, because we'll have all 3 sides. So now I'm going to go ahead, and you always want to be on the one side of the wall. So now I'm ready to go ahead and put on the next one. Go through the little bead, the Delica that's slightly sticking out. I pick up 1 11-0 Delica, and I go through the top, and then the side, just like that. And then I go ahead and reinforce everything. Alright, so go ahead and finish that up. So you'll have 2 more units to do, and then meet me back here and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so I want to position myself so that way I'm coming, so if we're looking at this, we are looking at, here's one length, here's the other length. So I'm coming in out of one of the 11 Delicas that are in between. So I'm coming up, so we have our rows. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And I'm between the first and the second row. And I'm not over here, but I'm coming out of towards the top of row 1 and the bottom of row 2 here. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick up a 15 Delica. And I'm just going to go through the next 11 Delica. There we go, just like that. And it's just going to lie in between. And then I'm just going to pick up another 15 Delica and do the same thing, coming out of one 11 Delica and then going through the next. Alright. And so you should have 3 15 Delicas in between the center. There we go. And then I'll just weave my way over to the next row and do the same thing over there. So I'm just going to maneuver to over here. And I'm just going to pick up a 15 and go through the next 11 Delica, just like that. Alright, and there we go. And after this, we just have 1 more row to do. So go ahead, finish up this row, and do the next row, and then I'll show you the next step, okay? Alright. Once you've done all 3 the in-between rows, what you're going to do is you're going to maneuver yourself to the ends here. And we're just going to be filling in on each side. Now over here, we're not putting any beads, okay? We're just going to maneuver our way so we get to this 3 o'clock here of this right angle weave. And we're just going to pick up a 15 Delica and go down to the next right angle weave unit and go through this 11 Delica off this side. So we'll have, wherever we have a row of 15 Delicas, we'll be adding another 15 Delica at the very end. And we'll just go ahead and do that as well. And there we go. And then once you're done one side, go ahead and weave your way around and do the opposite side as well. So you'll be adding a 15 Delica here, here, and here. And then meet me back here and we'll get started on our band. Alright, so I went ahead and ended my both my tail and my front thread. I had a little bit on the front that I could have kept going, but I thought I was at a good point to go ahead before we got started on the band, since the band does take up so much thread, to go ahead and end both and get a new piece of thread. And so what I did is I took 2 arm lengths again, and I would do, and then maybe a little less, but I gave myself plenty. Probably won't use it all, but I figure it's better than anything. And just work with what you're comfortable. If it's too long for you, go ahead and do less amount and just add on thread. If you're going to be ending threads, I would do 3 to 4 half knots. I've been doing 3 on something like this. And you want to go through I usually do my knots where I'm about to just enter a 11 Delica. And the reason why is that way you have plenty of room for the knot to go into, and you still have room in the hole to continue to bead if you need to. So that's how I did mine. And I try not to do my knots in the same place for both ends of the thread. And when I added my new thread, right now I haven't done any knots because I'll be doing the knots at the end, is I did, for one end, I did a full arm length of thread, and then the remainder for the front. And the reason why that is we're going to get started on one side of the band just to start off with, because it'll be easier to end it that way, and get started on the other side and continue on with the one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started on one side, and then I'll have you get started on the opposite side in the same manner, and then just continue on one side, okay? So what you're going to do for both sides, but I'm going to show you to do for this side, is we're going to be coming out of, so you have 3 rows in the base of your piece where you have 15 Delicas. The first row right here is where we're going to be adding our right angle weave units and beginning our band for the one side. So what you're going to do is want to make sure you're coming out of one of the 11 Delicas at the very end, okay? And we're going to build right angle weaves going up. So, but in rows. So we'll do one row at a time. So pick up 3 11 Delicas, all right? Go through, so I'm coming out of this 11 Delica. I'm going to go back through that Delica. Just, so I'm coming out from the same side, going in on the opposite side. So I'm creating that first right angle weave unit, just like that. Let me get a little closer so you can see. I'm going to zoom in for a second. There we go. So here's the 11, the right angle weave. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce that. And I'll do one bead at a time. There we go. Move my thread out of the way. So I'm coming here because we're going to be building that wall. And then we'll be coming, we've reinforced it, so now I want to make sure I finished the reinforcement. So now I want to make sure I'm coming out of this bead here. So I'm just going to weave my way till I get to that point. There we go. There we go. Now we're ready to do the second unit, and keep in mind that our second unit will be attached to this 11 Delica right here. So we have the 15 Delica, which we'll skip, and then the 15 Delica here. And my direction of my thread is going this direction, so I'll go through that 11 Delica next, and it will be tight, but we can do it. There we go. And if you need to switch over to a smaller size needle, that's fine. I still have plenty of room. You can feel it. That's the nice thing about Delicas. You do get a little bit more room. And I just want to make sure the thread doesn't, there we go. Alright, so keep in mind we got the top here, plus we have this side here, because we're building up. I just need 2 11-0 Delicas for the next unit. So I pick up 2, I'm going through this side here. There we go. There we go, and then we just go back through that top. 1, and it'll be a little tight. This is the toughest part. Whew, that was a lot of work. See, you're not the only one. There we go. That's also another reason why I just like to get this section out of the way on both sides, so that way it's all smooth sailing after that. Alright. And it's also why I like to work with short needles versus the long needles. I wish they would make 13s in short needle forms. This would make it a lot easier. So I'm just reinforcing this section here. And I gotta go through that little one again, but we'll give it a shot. Alright, so we got 2 units on over here. There we go. And you still need to do 2 units on this side, so build up one right here and one here. And then go ahead and once you're done with that, go ahead and thread your needle on the opposite side and do over here. And you have your very first 15-0 row rounds were here. So you're going to build up 1 row of right angle weave where the 11-0 Delicas are in between the 15-0s. And you'll have a total of 4 units as well. Meet me back here, and I would thread your needle with the thread that has the longest side, and we'll go ahead and get started further on the band, and I'll show you what to do next. I just find that it's easier to get this tough part out of the way right away, and then you can go ahead and work on the band itself, and it's a lot less stressful that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, this is the toughest part of the whole piece, and after that it's easy breezy, I swear. Okay, right, so what we're going to be doing for the band is, so we have our right angle weave here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a right angle weave, then we're going to add some embellishment, and then a right angle weave, and then embellishment, right angle weave. Okay, and I did a little bit over here, so you can see a first right angle weave, then I have the 15-0 Delicas in between, right angle weave, then 15-0 Delicas. So let's go ahead and do that on the opposite side. So we've got our initial right angle weave. You want to maneuver, so you go to the top of the right angle weave. Normally you would just go ahead and add the right angle weave, but we're going to just add the embellishment first. So I'm picking up a 15-0 Delica, then I'm going to go through the next, let me get a little, zoom in a little bit closer so you can see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through that next 11-0 Delica on the opposite side, which is at the top of the next right angle weave unit, and just go through that. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up another 15-0 Delica and go through the next 11-0 Delica sticking out. There we go. There we go, just like that. Then I'll pick up another 11-0 am I saying 11-0? So this is a 15-0 Delica, 15-0 Delica, and then 15-0 Delica. So in between each row, I will be adding 15-0 Delicas just like that. All right, so then I just go ahead and do the next right angle weave unit for the next row. So I'm at the very top, so I can start the next row. I pick up 3 11-0 Delicas. There we go. And I reinforce that. I'm going to have to hold this a little bit. There we go. And I'm just reinforcing. And then I'm going through. There. Whoops, don't want to create a knot. There we go. So now I reinforced. So I just need to wind up over here at this 3 o'clock, okay? There we go. So this is the second row of right angle weave from my base. There we go. There we go. So my unit is going this direction. My units are going this direction. And I have a 11-0 Delica here and a 11-0 Delica here. So all I need to do is add on 2 11-0 Delicas. And since I'm going in this direction, I first go through this 11-0 Delica. So I have, this is my 3 o'clock and this is my 12 o'clock. So I just have to add 9 and 6. There we go. So go ahead and do that at the end. And then before you get started with the next row of right angle weave, put on your 15-0 Delicas, just like you did with the previous row, the 3. Oops. Let me just turn this around. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce this. So go ahead and continue without me. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do 1 row of right angle weave. Then you are going to do, you're going to add your 15-0 Delicas embellishment. And then you'll do another row of right angle weave. And then you're going to add your 15-0 Delicas. Now for reinforcing the 15-0 Delicas, you can do that. I usually did that when I needed to add thread on my last ring. If you added thread like I did with this one, you probably aren't going to need to add thread. So you might want to just wait to the end, towards the end, and do your reinforcement there. If you need to add thread, go ahead and go back through those 15-0s and, you know, do your knots so the knots are going inside the 11-0s. And you can add your thread that way. So just depending on whether or not you need to add thread. All right, so go ahead, continue to do this, and don't forget you have the other side, and then wait till you get to the length. Remember, we'll have to do 1 more row together, so just keep that in mind. So do it slightly shorter than what you need, because we'll be doing the final row together, okay? And once you get to that point, meet me back here and we'll finish up. Alright, so now I'm ready to finish up my band on this ring. And on this ring I wanted to do a size 7. And so if you notice, the length of the band, I made sure to, before I finish, that it was just under the size 7. Okay, otherwise if I had gone all the way to the 7, it would have been actually more of an 8 or a 9. So I wanted to make sure that it was just under for a 7. That way when I wrap things up, it will fit on this 7. Okay, and it doesn't hurt for it to be slightly tight, just because beaded rings do stretch a little bit over time, and they can, and they will give a little. It I tend to make my rings just slightly tight to start off with because they do give as time goes on. So when you do this, you have this here. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to be, since we have the top and we have the bottom of the right angle weave, we're just going to be putting on the sides. So here we just need to add the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock. When we come over here, we'll have the 3 o'clock. We'll just need to add the 9 o'clock, and so on and so on. Okay. And we have the 15-0s already here, and we have the 15-0s already here. You're not going to need to add any more 15-0s in between, but we do have one more embellishment with the 15-0s, okay? So don't put those away just yet. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up this ring. All right, so we're just going to be doing the right angle weave. The only difference is we already have the top and we have the bottom. Okay, so let me just see if I can get a little closer so everyone can see. All right, so my thread is coming out at the top of this bead here. So this is going to be the top of my first right angle weave. Okay, and so I'm going to pick up one 11/0 Delica. I'm going to go to the bottom of the other side of the other band and go through that first 11/0 Delica, which will be the bottom of my right angle weave. So let me just go like this so you can see better. There we go. And this was going to pull everything together, just like that. Then I pick up another 11/0 Delica for the other side for my 9 o'clock. And I go through that top 11/0 Delica again. And then I just pull everything together gently. You don't have to pull too tight. There we go. And then reinforce. Just go through everything. Just like that. There we go. And once I go through the top, I finish the reinforcement, but I want to wind up over here at my 9 o'clock since this is the direction I'm going in. So I'm just going to weave my way over. Go. And since my right angle weave is going in this direction, I'm coming out of 9 o'clock. I go through 12 o'clock. I'm missing, I went through 3 o'clock, then I went through 12 o'clock, and I'm missing 9 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up 9 o'clock for this right angle weave unit. Then I'm going to go through, I'm just going to turn this around and go through 6 o'clock. And that will just help zip things up. And then I reinforce that. And then go ahead and continue. You have 2 more, reinforce this, and then you got 2 more units. Meet me back here. After you're done with this, before meeting me back here, make sure you reinforce all these 15-0s going in and out of them. If you haven't already reinforced them, if you have, then meet me back here and we'll do the final embellishment, okay? All right, so now we're just putting on the final embellishment. So you can go ahead and put away your 11-0 Delicas. We're just going to be using our 15-0 Delicas. And all we're doing is on the side here, we are just adding 15-0s between the 11-0 Delicas. So I've already added over here. I'm now coming out of this 11-0 Delica. So when you look at the base, you are going to be starting at the same location that you started your 15-0s going this direction, okay? So I have 1, 2, and then I'm coming out of this 11-0 Delica here. You just put my needle through that so you can see. So I'm coming out of this 11-0 Delica right here. And maybe I can get a little closer. And all we're going to do is add a 15-0 in between each 11-0 Delica on the side. And we'll do this side as well as this, the opposite side. So both sides of the band of the ring, you're going to be adding 15-0s. So I'm just going to go like this. So I'm coming out of the previous 11-0 Delica and going through the next with my 15-0 Delica. Whoops, I think I went out of camera frame, so let me just do that again. So I'm coming out of this 15-0 Delica, 11-0 Delica. I picked up a 15-0 Delica. I go through the next 11-0 Delica. And you do that all along the band on both sides. And once you're done, if you have enough room and thread, go ahead and reinforce the band on along the side on both sides, and then go ahead and end your threads and you're done, and then you have your ring. Ta-da! All right, everyone, thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can send me a message through YouTube or Facebook. And I really appreciate you guys. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. It does help me out, as well as subscribe if you haven't already done so. So it just allows me to continue to create these videos and share them with you. So thank you very much, and take care and stay safe and stay healthy.